and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, for another video for plenty more Barca news coming your way. And we do have a wide range of topics today, and some of them maybe are a bit more lighthearted. Please do let me know your take on those as well if you do enjoy different kinds of news being discussed, because we are going to be covering Xavi sending off against Atleti. Now, that is no laughing matter, some of the ramifications that may have. Also, Fermin Lopez, we need to discuss his profile in some more detail. We've got more words from Gerard Pique. They may divide opinion, and big rumours surrounding Kimmich. Really big reports right now coming out on him, and big news on Julian Nagelsmann too. There is lots to cover and lots to debate. So let's do this. Because right here today, we do have to give a special super thanks shout out to Nico. Thank you indeed there for the fantastic support on the channel. And also to Perko. I really do hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Really appreciate the support. Along here with this super thanks, who says they've been subscribed to the channel since I had 5,000 subscribers. And I know so many of you guys have been here since the very beginning. The hardcore. Thank you very much indeed for that long time support. And let's crack on now with some of the news that you may have missed, because first of all, how about this right here? This is Trent Alexander-Arnold, who has predicted that Barca will win the Champions League. He sees us getting past Paris Saint-Germain, then meeting Dortmund in the semi-final, and he believes in the final we will go up against Arsenal, who he is backing to get past Bayern and then Man City, and he is believing that in the end we will lift the title. That was interesting there to see. I also saw that Rafael Leao, the AC Milan winger and potential Barca target, don't forget, posted this screenshot of himself in a Google Meet alongside Pedri, Balde and João Felix. Hopefully there we had our best Barca agents on the case, working hard there to tell him all about the club and how brilliant it is. And also, by the way, Fede Valverde was in that meeting. He looked as though he could not wait for it to end. And the other big news as well, Luis Enrique will be returning to streaming on Twitch. He will actually come back there this Thursday at 8 PM. And I'm personally hoping that on stream he cracks open maybe a few beers and accidentally reveals his entire tactical plan to face Barca. But actually on streaming, guys, I did have here a super thanks from Jose, who basically said, why have you not done a stream? Why have you not tried that at least on the channel? And I gotta be honest, guys, have any of you felt the same way? Because honestly, I've thought a lot about it. There are certain times where I feel it would really work well. Things like deadline day, where things are happening so quickly, everything's changing all the time. A stream would be really good. But if anybody has any advice on that there, equipment that I may need, how exactly I go about doing it all, I would appreciate it, because I am absolutely none the wiser on that. But let's talk as well about Gerard Pique, because he has been doing actually quite a lot of talking recently. Obviously, he's got a little bit more time on his hands now, and he came out with some quite controversial quotes when it comes to the game of football, because he said there, football right now is competing with Netflix, with Amazon, with YouTube, with TikTok. He said everybody has limited time, and he said football for 90 minutes is not as exciting. Do I watch matches for 90 minutes? Not really. I watch some Barca matches, but not for 90 minutes. It may be 30 or 40 minutes. So already there, are you seeing where Piqué is coming from? Do you agree there that in this day and age where we've got so many different things begging for our attention, is football too long? Are those matches now too long in the current times? Because Piqué went on to say, I can watch Barca versus Napoli, for example, a big important Champions League game, but he said the 25th game of the league season, he said I don't watch it. And he said this is a trend. This is something that is happening. It's unstoppable, and we in football are going to have to adapt. So Piqué openly saying there, look, I don't even watch all Barca games. I really can't focus on all of them right now and watch every single match, every single minute. And I would just ask you guys there, what is your honest response to all of those words there from Piqué? Because there are some people certainly that would agree with him, but certainly from what I can see here on the channel with so many of the passionate people that are here every single day with me and every single game with Barca, I know this season that even during our most difficult times, even when the games honestly were tough, it was quite painful at times, most of us here still watch every single minute of the games without fail. And we would never not do that. And certainly from a player welfare perspective, I understand the argument, though, that maybe we're having too many games, that the players are being asked to play too often, too frequently, and it's actually hurting the performance level. It's hurting the ability there to keep everybody fit and seeing the best players all the time. I understand that aspect, but in terms of reducing match time, I think there you've got to be careful, because in this generation here, like Piqué says there, of TikTok, of all these different things, and all of our attention spans are shrinking, that isn't a good thing here. And I think actually for kids these days, it might be useful to sit down, get them to sit down and watch an entire match of football, focus on that there, get away from all these other things begging for your attention, and maybe even football could be beneficial. Sit down and watch a match of football and improve your life. Apart from maybe if you lose badly, that one is gonna sting. But let's talk about Xavi, because certainly he was not happy on the weekend against Atletico Madrid, was he? He was sent off there for some sort of altercation on the touchline, certainly there towards the referee, the fourth official. There seemed to be a bit of a delay actually in getting the message to the ref to send Xavi off, and I believe there the action from Xavi, the gesture came after a foul was given against Gundogan right on the edge of Atletico Madrid's box. We won the ball back so high up the field, but a foul was given, one of those really, really soft ones. Xavi was obviously fuming, and it was the fourth official there that informed the referee that Xavi must be sent off, which is why when you saw Xavi get the red card, straight away he was marching towards the fourth official, wasn't he? He was saying, what did I say? What did I say? What did I say? I didn't say anything. And Xavi after the game said, the referee sent me off only for my gestures. He said, I said absolutely nothing. I am always respectful on the touchline. And he said, if I make gestures, it's only because I'm passionate. The sending off for me is unnecessary, it is unfair, but he says we must accept it. However, the problem now is that apparently Xavi could be banned for 3 matches in total, which I think would be an absolutely huge suspension for what it was. Barely anything, let's be real here. 3 matches for that. He would miss Las Palmas at home, he would miss Cadiz away, and who do you think the third game might be? I will give you one guess there. Yes, it's Real Madrid. Of course, he would just conveniently miss El Clasico there with that 3-game suspension. And apparently the club weren't even going to bother to appeal it when that suspension comes because they feel that it would be a waste of time. Apparently now they've sort of changed their mind. They may well appeal it, although it probably will still be a waste of time. But if that is indeed to happen, it is going to be Oscar Hernandez once again in the dugout. And I've got to say, guys, he's won every single Barca game that he has overseen in Xavi's absence, and apparently now it's been reported in the media this week that in the dressing room they actually call him Oscar Klopp, and we may have to call upon those expertise if Xavi is indeed to be banned. But back now to the Barcelona players, because I want to talk about Fermin Lopez, and I've wanted to talk about him actually for several days now, because he is a player who really intrigues me in so many different ways, because this is somebody here, by the way, who has spent 7 years in total there among the youth ranks at Barca. You know, he has come through La Masia. He's also gone out on loan as well for a brief period. And I actually think here he is something we've never really seen before. And I don't mean that as in he's the greatest talent ever. I'm not going to pile expectations on him here. But what I mean, he's different from the other players that we see come through the youth setup at Barca. Because I would honestly say he doesn't have maybe the technical ability that you'd expect. You know, as a midfield player coming through La Masia, you expect their technical brilliance, excellence, immaculate play on the ball. And I would say, okay, Fermin, that doesn't actually apply to him all that much. He is somebody there who is a bit more rough around the edges. He can be a little more erratic at times on the ball. But what is interesting about him is that you do not want a team, especially a midfield there, with all the same kind of player. You do not want 4, 5, 6 players with identical styles. You want different players. Because think about all the matches that we play in a season, 50, 60 games there, and all the different setups that we face, all the different defences, and every single game, it requires something different. It will require there different kind of solutions. And I just see Fermin as a really intriguing option there. I see him as somebody who can provide something really different, because he's somebody who wants to go forward. He's somebody who wants wants to be between the lines, he wants to attack the spaces, he makes really intelligent runs, and he's got an offensive mind. He knows when to arrive into the area. We saw that against Napoli, we saw that against Atletico Madrid, and those are two very different kind of goals there. One, he's slotting it home with the side of his foot with precision. The other one, he's driving into the box and putting away the header, and you've seen him score from long range as well. He's got all different kinds of goals in his locker, and he's clearly got a knack for it. He's clearly got a knack there for scoring goals, because he has scored 6 times already in his very first season here with the first team. And you just think about the kind of impact that he could have across several seasons. You know, if he can get you, say, 10 goals a season from midfield, whether he's playing from the start of games, whether he's coming on and trying to change a game, that's a very, very valuable contribution. Even if at times he's not so neat and tidy with the ball, even if he doesn't always look after it, he's somebody that you can use in certain games, in certain scenarios, to give you a bit of an edge, to chip in with the goals, to help out there with your attacking output. Because don't forget here, scoring goals in football is still one of the most difficult things that you have to do, and particularly scoring goals from midfield. That is something that at Barca we haven't seen all that often. You know, that's what I mean about players coming through. They've been incredible, they're unbelievably talented, we will never ever deny that, but scoring from midfield is something we don't often see at this club, and just somebody there who can help out, who can help share the burden of those goals. Fermin Lopez, he's a valuable player, he's a valuable option, and right now he's showing exactly what he can do. I think that's when it gets very interesting indeed, when we talk about our next topic here, Joshua Kimmich, because obviously another kind of midfield player that we're desperately searching for this summer, it is a new pivot. That is Barca's priority. It has been now since last summer, and it's only been made clear throughout this season we need one, and we need a top quality one at that. But is Kimmich the man that we should be going for? Because we know that we've been linked pretty heavily with him since last summer. We know there's concrete interest there, and from what we understand, there's a real mutual interest between both sides in maybe making it happen. And what has happened this week will only intensify those rumours, because Florian Plettenberg there from Sky Sports in Germany has said that Bayern are willing to sell Kimmich this summer if a suitable offer arrives to them. And apparently Kimmich there is also said to very much welcome offers. The feeling from within Bayern is they've reached the end. And I've got to say, this very much feels as though it's the same kind of situation that we saw with Robert Lewandowski, whereby, yes, he's been there for years, yes, they've had success together, but it almost feels as though this summer that will all come to an end, and Kimmich is very, very likely to leave Bayern, because right now there are no new talks at all about a new deal. His contract expires in 2025, so this summer as well, he'll be entering into that final year. That should bring down the price tag, of course. That should have some bearing on negotiations. But where exactly would Kimmich be open to going? Because according to Florian as well, he understands that there are 5 clubs that he would consider joining if he left Bayern. One of those is Barca. Another is Real Madrid, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Manchester City. So those there are the 5 apparently that Kimmich would be considering, with some of those clubs already having inquired about Kimmich's availability, and we believe that Barca have made contact. We believe that even if it was last summer, they've spoken to Kimmich to understand what his preference would be. But here's the thing, because actually, should we go for him? And that's a big question right now within the Barcelona fan base, and I think you're going to get a lot of different opinions here on Kimmich, because the first question in my mind would be, how much would he actually cost? Because right now he is 29 years old. He's certainly got years left at the top level. Would I say that Kimmich right now is at the absolute peak of his ability? Not really, but neither are Bayern. You know, Bayern are not going through the best moment ever, and Kimmich, I think, has suffered as part of that. I don't think he really feels there's a future for him at Bayern, and maybe that's why his form is struggling a little bit as well. And of course, Barca this summer, they've got to spend their money carefully. So in terms of the transfer fee, in terms of the wages, what would we be talking about? And of course, it all does depend, guys, on who is leading Barca next season, who the next coach is, you know, what the system, what the setup is going to be. Because I would just stress on this, as much as I love Kimmich as a player, I really do admire him. I think he would fit a Barcelona team. I think he would be so effective in Barca colours, but he is not a single pivot. That is another thing that we have to stress here. If Barca this summer are looking for somebody to be a lone pivot, to come in and play that Busquets role on his own, Kimmich is not that player. That will not be the way that he operates. He would come in there to be part of a double pivot, to be part of two players in there. So the next question would be, can he complement Frenkie de Jong? Because on paper, you look at the two of them there, Frenkie, Kimmich, it looks like a dream. And there is so much quality there. And there is every chance and there's real potential that it could work. The two of them together could be world beaters. But I think there's also a little bit concern among the Barcelona fan base. Are they too similar? Would we be signing here a profile in Kimmich that, again, isn't all that different from what we have with Frenkie de Jong, who is also, don't forget, not a lone pivot. So we've got somebody there in de Jong with extreme quality, so much ability, can do so many things in midfield, but will Kimmich be able to give us what we're lacking from that pivot area? Is he equipped there to not only have the quality of de Jong, but to complement him as well and offer things maybe that Frenkie does not in our team, particularly looking defensively at Barca as a unit right now? So those there are the absolute key points that I want to know from you on Kimmich. You know, would you go for him? Would you sign him? Would you see him as a Barcelona pivot? Do you feel as though he can give us what we need, what we're lacking right now in that midfield role? That's the big question, because I now want to talk about Julian Nagelsmann. Now, this is a man, of course, who knows Kimmich very, very well indeed. If he was to come in, could he use Kimmich? Could he use de Jong to the best of their abilities as a duo? That would be another important question indeed. But I want to talk about Nagelsmann, because obviously right now, the coaching situation at Barca been pretty quiet recently. There haven't been a lot of rumours at all about coaches, and that's understandable, because we've had big games, we've been fully focused on them. That, of course, is our absolute priority right now, here and now in this season. But we do know that Nagelsmann's contract with Germany expires right after the Euros this summer. So once that tournament comes to an end, Nagelsmann is free to leave. And Barca have been really keen to know what his plans are. You know, what are you planning on doing after the Euros? What does your future hold, Julian? And he's actually told us. And that's the really interesting thing about this right now. Nagelsmann has openly come out and said, look, my full focus is on the Euros. That's, of course, where my focus lies, and with the national team. But he said, I would advise anybody whose contract is about to expire to think about their future. And then he went on to say, if I have a contract offer before the Euros that I'm satisfied with and that makes me feel comfortable, then the likelihood of me signing that contract before the Euros is very, very high. So Nagelsmann there has openly come out and said, if before the Euros I have an offer from another club, I have a contract there that I can sign and pledge my future to, then I will do it. That, again, is a come and get me plea, not only for Barca, but for every club around the world right now who is looking at Nagelsmann. He has opened the door, and is that a route that Barca will consider going down? Could that tie in with Kimmich's future in any way? Let's wait and see. So indeed, guys, that right there is a full Barca news roundup for you, and I really do hope once again that you have enjoyed the video right here today, because the feelings are absolutely fantastic. I'm loving all of your energy, all of your comments, every single video. So great to see so many happy faces here on the channel. That is the dream. That really does mean the world to me, and thank you to everyone for tuning in. I will be back soon. We will have lots more to say, lots more to be excited about, and I will catch you all then. For all of that good stuff to come, thank you. But until next time, yeah, as always, Visca, yeah, Barca.